So the first concept we will talk about is the production function. Before we introduce the definition of product function, I want to remind you of the story about mama's bread. So think about if your mom wants to make bread, what do they need? Yes, the flour, the butter, the milk, the salt, the sugar, etc. And the second thing is they need to have certain measurement, right? Like two cups of flour with 1 cup of water. You cannot put too much flour or too few water. Either way will cause you to make a very bad bread. So in order to make the tasty bread, you not only need those elements, but also you need to have right amount of each kind of the ingredient. So before we introduce the definition for product function, and I want you to look at this fun video about making the bread. So we have flour, we need water, yeah, we need labor, right? Oh, yeah, we need milk. Salt. I don't know what is the black one. Yeah, some sugar candies, some butter, a lot of butter actually. And then you mix them together. So my question is, do you think you will love this kind of bread? Definitely not, right? Yes, because you've not only you need the factor of the production, but you need to have entrepreneurship, and each part of the input should be the right amount. So the definition for production is for you to produce the high quality product. So the production function is a technological relationship expressing the maximum quantity of the good attainable from different combination of factor inputs. So you can look at the definition for product function. It's not only emphasize the factor of the inputs, capital, land, labor, entrepreneurship, but also they require the maximum quantity of a good attainable. So they want to maximize the possible output, and but use a technological relationship, which means you need to pretty well to organize your production factors. So in other words, how much can we produce with the land, labor, and capital available, and we will consider the land to be a fixed amount, so we can vary only the labor and the capital. So in this chapter, we first going to consider the best combination between labor and capital, and we will try to maximize our production. So the production function is you have the input in and you have something come out. You have flour, butter, water, milk going to your bread machine, and then it came out a very tasty bread. So that is what the production function want to estimate it. So they try to estimate the relationship between the input and output. And the purpose to study the production function is trying to maximize the profit through maximizing production. So the production function, in order for labor to produce, it needs land and capital, with neither production is zero. So if you want to produce the bread, you not only need the flour, butter, sugar, but also you need to have the bread machine or oven. So without any part of it, you cannot make the bread. So with fixed land and capital, adding more labor will increase production. So that's what happened in the early age. So when fewer people on the earth, so what the most people will do is they try to give birth to as many kids as they want, because they know given the fixed land and capital, if you keep adding more labor, and they should increase the production. However, at first, the rapid rate as added worker put the capital to full use, but unfortunately, if when the production reached to the maximum, if you keep adding more worker, it will result in the production decrease. It's more like we just want to find the best combination of labor, land, and capital. If on the land we have too much labor, and we will find the production will decrease, will reduce. The speed of production will reduce. At the end, even can be decreased because limited resources of capital and land will restrict the production of the labor, and the actual labor will be like waste to play a role in the production function. So in order to characterize this characteristic of the production function, we have production function curve look like this. It's kind of at the beginning it's increased dramatically, and we can reach to the top, we can reach to the maximum, then it start to decrease. So the production of any factor of the production, such as labor, depend on the amount of other resources. So you can find, so this for the production function, as I mentioned, is reflected the relationship between input and output. So the vertical axis is the output, the horizontal axis is for the labor input. So you can find as we increase the labor from 0 to 2, and the increase of the output is very sharp. And when we increase labor to 3, the increase start to get slower and slower. When we reach to the production H, we have the 7 labors. Not 7. We have 6 labors. We can find output mixed to the maximum. And if we keep increasing the labor, so which means, for instance, we have 2 machines, it only requires the maximum 4 people to operate it. But if we add 1 more person, that person will be like the waste. And instead of increasing the production, it will decrease the production. So that's why here we can see if we increase labor from 6 to 7, the production will sort of decrease. And if we keep increasing to 8%, the production will reduce to the point I. The reason this will happen is because no matter how many labor you have, the labor's contribution to a production will be limited by the land and the capital. If we don't increase land and capital, it will only result in the decrease of our total production. So when capital is fixed as labor, so to conclude, when capital is fixed as labor increase, output increase, but ultimately at a slower rate, and ultimately output maxes out and begin to decline. So you always try to make sure we want to find the best combination among labor, land, and capital, not the maximum amount of the labor. So the measure of this added output as labor increase is called marginal physical production. So in next video, we will start to talk about, we will focus on talking about the marginal physical production, MPPE.